great Animal Planet show, Tanked. Today he's going to talk to us about being on a hit TV show, as well as his some of the pranks that they do on the show and all the fun that they have. So without further ado, here's the General.
Hello folks, come on in, we have plenty of seats here, and welcome to the Amazing Pet Show. I appreciate the fact that everybody's come down. Come on in, we have plenty of seats here. Now, just by a show of hands, how many of you folks have actually watched our show? Quite a few of you. Quite a few of you. For the people that have not watched the show, hopefully by the time I finish with you, you will want to watch the show. We started our third season up against the NCAA basketball tournament, which is going on right now, okay? And we still had 1.6 million people in the United States watch our show on Animal Planet, which set a record on Animal Planet. Now, we're on Friday nights, and we're on at 10 o'clock. So for the people that have not watched our show, you now know, Animal Planet, Friday night, 10 o'clock. You can DVR us, you can Google us, you can Netflix us, or you can on-demand us. We started with 6 episodes, we went to 22 episodes, we went to 40 episodes, and because of all you folks that raised the hand, because of the fact that without the fans, there is no show, we just signed season number 5, which you will see on June 12th. Some of the people that we signed is Marshawn Lynch, Seattle Seahawks, okay? Gabriel Iglesias, Dwight Howard from the Houston Rockets, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and a couple of other stars. If I think about them, I'll let you know. Not a problem. Okay, now, for the people that have watched our show, you know that Heather's my daughter, and you know that Wade is my son-in-law. Well, we'll get this straight from the beginning. They live with me. I do not live with them. Okay? And they have 2 beautiful daughters that are 10 and 14 years old that are champion gymnasts. Now, what are the chances of a child waking up in the morning, seeing their mother, their father, their uncle, and their grandfather on TV all at the same time? Now, my grandfather was a very wise man, and he gave me some words of wisdom, which I'm going to pass along to all of you, young and old alike. But unfortunately, most of you won't listen. And the reason you won't listen is because of the fact that everyone wants to learn from their own mistakes. My grandfather disagreed. My grandfather said, learn from other people's mistakes. It doesn't cost you time, aggravation, money, or all 3. Now think about it, folks. We've all made mistakes. It's cost you one of those 3, or it's cost you all of those 3. Now you've also heard the expression, you can bring the horse to water, and you can't make him drink. Well, fortunately for me, and facetiously, my grandfather made me a drinker. At age 40, I semi-retired. I worked 3 days a week, 4 hours a day, worked out of my house, and I went on vacation 18 weeks a year. Now, on November 22nd, that was 30 years ago. Do the math. 30 years ago. Bill Gates didn't do that. Donald Trump didn't do that. I did that. They can buy and sell me thousands of times over. They're into power, I'm into enjoyment. To be honest with you folks, if I had my druthers, I really wouldn't even be speaking with you right now. I'd be in my condo in Puerto Rico, lying on the beach. When we get involved with children, as how many of us have, you gotta do what you gotta do. Now, how many of you folks that have watched the program saw the program with the bogus scratch-off cards or lottery tickets? I see a few hands up. I'll refresh your memory, and some of you will remember. We happen to be a pranking family. My son-in-law came out one day and said, Dad, I want to prank everybody. But you know what? If I try to prank everybody, nobody's going to listen. He said, but if you try to prank everybody, everybody will listen. I said, well, what do you got? He said, I got these bogus scratch-off cards, nobody can win. Oh, I said, I like that idea. And I snatched them out of his hand. I thought for a moment, I gathered everybody around, and as I did so, I said, hey guys, I just came back from my second lunch. How many of you folks saw the episode with my second lunch? I see a few hands go up, a few smirks. Okay, I'll show you a picture of my second lunch in a few moments. I told them that I went out with the largest trucking company in North America, signed a $1 million deal, saved 12% or $120,000, which was pretty impressive, if it were true. okay? And the reality is that I told him that the guy gave me the stack of scratch-off cards. I scratched off a couple of numbers, and they actually won $25. So I planted a seed in their mind that they could actually win, when we all know bogus is bogus, and they couldn't win at all. Well, everybody dispersed. Everybody went into their own office, and there's my son scratching off his card, $10,000, $10,000, $10,000, and he starts to jump around the room like a chicken without a head. Oh my God, I'm rich. Oh my God, I win $10,000, and oh my God, I'm going partying tonight. For one split moment, though, folks, he became brain dead. He turned the card over, and he read the back of the card, and it clearly stated you have 0 chances in 10,000 in winning. Now, I don't care what country you come from. I don't care what language you speak. 0 is still 0. But he was so overwhelmed with the fact that he thought he won, he came running down the hall. Dad, you're not going to believe this. Well, you know what, folks? He was right. He was getting pranked. I wasn't going for this much, but I'll play. So what happened? I just won $10,000 with the scratch-off card. I said, let me see it. Oh, my God, you're a winner. Well, let me get John on the phone and see how you play. I picked up the phone. I dialed the number. I said, John, you're not going to believe this. My kid just won $10,000 with the scratch-off card. Well, you have to understand, there is no John. I'm talking to myself. I'm leading him down the road exactly where I want him to be. And I said, how does he collect? Make a copy of his license, back his printing winning card, FedEx package overnight. He collects in 5 days. He got so excited, he nearly jumped over the counter. I said, where's your license? He went fishing for his license. He said, Dad, it must be in the car. He goes outside, he sees Jimmy from the Postal Service. Yo, Jimmy, give me a high five. I just won 10 grand. He sees Izzy, the guy that moves our tanks. Yo, Liz, give me a high five. I just won 10 grand. But with all the commotion going on, my daughter came out, and the prank continued. She said, Dad, what's going on here? I said, honey, you're not going to believe this, but that lucky stiff brother of yours, he just won $10,000 with the scratch-off card. I'm still laughing about it. She said, well, you gave one to me, you gave one to Wade, I have them in my pocket. I said, take them out. Well, you know what happened there? She started to scratch them off. 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. Well, gentlemen, you may have seen this pose from a grandmother, from a mother, from a wife, a girlfriend, or a daughter like I did. She put her hand on her hip. She put her foot forward, and she said, Dad, really? And she gave me a really, ladies and gentlemen. I came this close to peeing in my pants. Okay? I laughed a little bit inwardly. I said, honey, you just don't understand. I signed a $1 million deal. I saved 12% or $120,000. The guy on the other end probably made 20% or $200,000. Big deal. The reality is we gave away two $10,000 prizes. You have to understand, I prank my kids from the time they're small until they're adults. And I am still the kid of the family. So, now, very skeptically, my daughter started to scratch off the next card. We all know what happened there. 10,000 again. She looked me square in the face and said, Dad, you're full of shit. Well, with that being said, okay, my son came back in the room and realized A, he didn't win $10,000. He realized B, he's not going partying. And he realized C, he wanted revenge. Now, I said, I can stand there and wait and see what happens. Well, Brett says to Wade, what do you want for lunch? He says, get me a plain chicken sandwich, a big gulp soda. I'm ready to go. He goes out, he gets a plain chicken sandwich. He gets 2 chicken sandwiches, 2 big gulp sodas. They start to talk, they start to eat. And unknowns to poor Wade, Brett put half a bottle of hot sauce on his chicken sandwich. And all of a sudden, Wade exclaimed,
the whole day.
well, with that being said, okay, Brett was coy and laid back. Said, I don't know why yours is so hot, but maybe, just maybe a hot pepper got on it. He said, take the big gulp soda. It's ice cold. Guzzle it down. Get that hot taste out of your mouth. Unknowns to Wade, once again, he put the rest of the hot sauce in his drink. He guzzled it down, and all I can tell you is one expression. It was definitely worth 1,000 words. Now, all of a sudden, my son says to me, hey, Dad, you know, we need you to do a couple of things. I said, like what? Well, one of the things that I did is I dressed as a French maid. I dressed as SpongeBob. I dressed as probably the ugliest merman that you've ever seen in the world. I was also dressed as Kiss. So I go the extra mile to do whatever I can to make it fun. Okay? Now, we have some great talent that's coming up very, very shortly. Now, all of a sudden, okay, I got involved with my son, and my son turned around to me and said, you know what, Dad, you got to give one for the team. I said, okay, that's all I do is give one for the team. I gave $2 million for the team. I lost the bet on national TV on the team, and I gave up the last 3 years of my life without going on vacation. I said, that's all I do. So the end result is that I wound up going out to lunch with somebody at Lowe's. And what happened is he actually lost a bet. What I did is I went into Lowe's, I got $1,500 worth of lumber, I have a resale certificate, and with the resale certificate I don't have to pay tax. I did that, and I ordered, I get 10% discount. That's $1,350. I'm writing them out a check for $1,350. He said, sir, it's more money. I said, sir, you think you're right. I know I'm right. I'll bet you lunch. I said, you're on. All of a sudden, he went to the calculator to figure this out, and the end result is, he said, you're right. I said, I'll see you for lunch tomorrow. Well, the next day came pretty quickly. I went out for my first lunch from 12 to 1. I went out for my second lunch from 1:15 to 2:15. I came back, there was my son and son-in-law in my office, yelling and screaming, where were you? What are you doing? The phones are ringing off the hook. How many lunches did you have? I said, I went out for one lunch. How would they know? They couldn't find out. They didn't come with me. They didn't pay for me. They didn't even follow me. I said, one lunch. My son-in-law jumped all over and said, I'll bet you went out for more than one lunch. How could they prove it? The nerve of these kids, they put a camera in my office. In my office, they put a camera. And the end result is I lost the bet. And because I lost the bet, I'm looking for the picture to show you. Because I lost the bet. I don't know if you can see that. I had to dress as Gene Simmons.
Oh, no.
All right? Now, I know some of you ladies, okay, try to impress us guys once in a while, and you put on 3-inch heels, and maybe you put on 4-inch heels. Maybe even go clubbing and you put on 5-inch spikes. I had these godforsaken 8-inch heels on for 4 hours. How I didn't kill myself walking in them, I don't know. And at the end of that 4 hours, I was a cripple. I couldn't walk. On television, you saw them wheel me off in a handcart. What you didn't see is they immediately carried me into a car. They took me into my bed. I took the muscle relaxant and pain pills, went to sleep, got up the next day, called in sick, and I had my feet dangling over the bed into an ice tub. That's how swollen they were. So how you ladies put those little feet into those little shoes, I don't know how you do it, but I said, never again. Now, the show started. Some people want to know how the show started. We've been in business for 18 years. My son turned around one day. He said, you know what? We got a crazy family. We belong on television. He went 1 year, after 2nd year, after 3rd year, and finally he got one of his friends to go to a producer and a director who went to Animal Planet, who gave them $25,000 for a pilot. They loved the pilot. They scrapped the pilot. They hired us for 6 episodes, 22 episodes, 40 episodes, and now 15 episodes. Now, I want to thank you all for coming. Does anybody have any questions about tanks or what sizes or anything? Please just raise your hand. I'll be more than happy to try to answer.
Yeah, what's the most expensive tank and what celebrities?
Most expensive tank you get.
The most expensive tank we did was a church in Texas, in Dallas, Texas. They built the church around the tank. It was $5 million.
Wow.
$5 million. Woo! Anybody else have a question?
What was in the tank?
In the tanks, we have coral inserts, we have water, we have fish, and anything that you want to put in it. Our attitude is, if you can dream it, we can do it. Anybody else have any questions about anything? All right, listen, folks, enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks for coming. Look forward to seeing you at my booth in the back. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's a lot of money.